Alright, in this video I'm focusing on level 1, which is solving linear equations. In this first problem, there's a lot of distribution going on. So the first thing we want to do is simplify both sides as much as possible. In order to do that, we need to distribute this 2 and this -4 to each part. And on the left-hand side, we'll end up with 2x plus 2 equals. And then on the right-hand side, we'll have -4x. -4 times 2 is -8. Alright, next step here. The left-hand side is as simplified as possible. So we're going to continue simplifying the right-hand side. -8 plus 22, those are our common terms. So 22 and -8 gives us plus 14. Alright, now that both sides are as simplified as possible, we want to get all the x terms on one side and all the numbers on the other side. So let's move this -4 to the left-hand side. And we do that by adding 4x because we want this term right here to zero out and cancel. So what's going to happen is we'll have 2x plus 4x, which gives us 6x, and we still have that plus 2. The x's on the right canceled out, and all that's left is a 14. Alright, we want to move this 2 to the right-hand side, so we're going to take away 2, and that zeroes out this part. I'm going to continue up here. And what we'll have left on the left-hand side is just 6x, and on the right-hand side is 12. Last step, we're going to divide by 6 because whenever you have a number just sitting next to a variable, there's implied multiplication. So the opposite of that's division. And we're going to end up with x equals 2. Moving on. Our next problem has a little bit extra steps here. We've got this 2 in the denominator, so let's look how that changes things. Again, we want to simplify as much as possible before doing anything else. So the left-hand side, we have distribution to do. So 4y minus 8 equals, and then the right-hand side, we can't do anything with that yet. What we want to do in order to get rid of this division, if you remember from the last skill, is we want to multiply by 2. And when you multiply the left-hand side by 2, we have to multiply every part by 2. So that's why I put the left-hand side in parentheses there. So we're going to have another distribution. So 8y minus 16 equals, the 2's on the right-hand side cancel each other out. And all that we're left with is 7y plus 6. Alright, we want to bring the y's over to the left side, so subtract 7y. We're left with y minus 16 on the left and 6 on the right. And then we want to add 16 to both sides. So we'll end up with y equals 22. Alright, I just want to quickly highlight a slight difference here. When we have a 4 in the denominator, but it's not by itself, we have to get the fraction by itself before we want to multiply. So in this case, we're going to subtract 2 first. Then we're left with x over 4 equals 0. And then once we have this fraction by itself, we can multiply by 4. Otherwise, if we multiply by 4 first up here, you'd have to multiply the whole thing by 4 and distribute, and that just gets messy. So here we end up with x equals 0. I just wanted to show you what the differences are between ones like this one over here and the one we just did. Alright, last type that we're going to tackle is one that where you've got fractions on both sides. And this is probably what most students remember when they think of the fractions on both sides, is that we want to cross multiply. So you're going to multiply 2x plus 1 and 5. And that'll go on one side. And 7 and x minus 3, when you'll multiply those and it'll go on the other side. And then it's going to solve just like the first one that we did. So we're going to have 10x plus 5 on the left, and 7x minus 21 on the right side. Take away 7x. Then we'll have 3x plus 5 left on the left-hand side, and a negative 21 left on the right. Subtract 5. Okay, negative 26 on the right-hand side. And then when we divide by 3, this isn't going to come out nice and even, so I'm going to leave it as a fraction. In this case, it's better to leave it as a fraction rather than put it in a decimal, because the decimal is going to be a repeating decimal. And so that's going to be more messy than just leaving it like a fraction like this. So we'll leave that as our answer.